Second half. Second half, kinda. First half already passed, but the All-Star break kind of makes it the second half. Very excited for the Blue Jays to get back in action after this break, a couple days off, maybe some much needed rest, but I think the Blue Jays are gonna start doing what we think they were going to do in the second half. I'm really excited for these final 70 or so games.
So am I, man. Should be very exciting.
Well, we're gonna talk about that. Bones is gonna try his hand at He Was a Blue Jay, plus we got another series preview. It's Locked On Blue Jays, and it begins pronto.
You are Locked On Blue Jays, your daily Toronto Blue Jays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Blue Jays. Thanks so much for making us your first listen every day, especially on this Friday. You can find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Odyssey, YouTube, Locked On Blue Jays, Twitter at Locked On Jays, and the email Locked On Blue Jays Real at gmail.com, REAL. If you listen to our Monday episode this week, we incorporated a question, and that we want to set the tone for the second half. We want your questions. We want to know what you want us to talk about because we're interested in what you think. At the end of the day, we are here to serve you. So please email us lockedonbluejaysreal at gmail.com. He's Matt Bonaparte. I'm Ben Shulman. Bones, we're getting ready to kind of start the second half. I know it's not really in terms of games, but it obviously feels like it with this break. The Blue Jays, as we stand, are 7 games over 500. They're 2 games clear of a playoff spot. How are you feeling right now about the Toronto Blue Jays heading into these final 70 games?
I'm not feeling good, man. I'm not feeling good at all. Um, of the teams in the wild card hunt, they're not the hottest. Um, the Rays just swept the Red Sox in a 4-game sweep not too long ago. The Red Sox are still a pretty darn good team. The Mariners won 1,000 games in a row or something. Um, the Jays are the odd man out in terms of the last few series. Obviously, the Red Sox got swept by the Rays. They kind of got beat up by the Yankees. So I guess the Red Sox are, you could argue they're worse than the Jays right now. But Jays got to pick it up. Need some trade deadline acquisitions. Need to get hot. Got to get the bad play out of their system before the October baseball starts.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, considering at one point, even early in the year, they were 10-11 over. We thought there was a chance they could be 15 over or something like that in a race. So I agree with your sentiment there. Definitely disappointed with some of how the play went in the first half. Also, obviously, just a weird feeling that like this break happened 5 days into the John Schneider tenure, so it's like really hard to. I mean, they are 4-1. Now it's mostly against Kansas City, so it's hard to gauge right now. But that obviously has put another wrinkle into what's been going on this year. I guess I'm classically the optimistic guy, so I'll at least throw a couple silver linings out. They've essentially held a playoff spot the whole year. Again, I know a lot of people want them to have World Series aspirations. I do think it's a healthy reminder that they've made the playoffs 3 times since 2000, and one of them only happened because of expanded 2020. So, like, the playoffs is an accomplishment. I personally believe the playoffs and making it is a big accomplishment for this team. There are a bunch of young guys who still haven't really made real playoffs because, again, I'm not really counting 2020. So that's I think important. Um, and this is positive and negative. We talked about it on Monday when asked a question from our email, lockedonbluejaysreal@gmail.com. Um, Vlad Guerrero has not been Vlad Guerrero of last year. He's still been solid, but you've managed to win without him being absolutely nuclear. It's a positive and a negative in a way. Bo Bichette has 720 OPS, and you're still winning games right now. So it's like it's good and bad. I want some guys to hit better. At the same time, Lourdes is hitting probably better than I thought he would. Kirk's hitting probably definitely better than I thought he would. Um, other guys are kind of around where I thought they would be, and his limited action Jansen's definitely hitting better than I thought he would. But you can't really go too crazy on a guy who's played 23 games. The pitching, I think we were fooled a little early on. We, as in everyone,
Well,
they were really good to start the year. But this was always a bullpen that definitely looked like it had some holes. So I don't really know how I'm feeling, is how I'm trying to say. Like, I do definitely feel a little disappointed, especially because of where they were in the middle of the year. Um, I'm not sure, though. If you told me at the beginning of the year that they'd be in this spot, there's a chance I would take it, just with the history of the Blue Jays and how much of a struggle it's been at times to compete. I don't think the Seattle Mariners are the Moneyball A's. I don't think they're going to win 20 in a row. I do think, though, that they're clearly a good team that's starting to show it now. So they're a threat all of a sudden. And now it's not just, hey, it's going to be the two division winners and all the AL East teams just figure it out for seeding. There's a legitimate race on, and they need to get ready to be a part of it.
yeah, the wild card race is going to be exciting in the back half of the season. But like I said, the teams they're up against are no slouches. Even though the AL, I think, is a little bit weaker than people thought it would be because the White Sox are bad, the Rangers are bad, the Angels are bad, and there are just a bunch of teams that nobody really thought would be bad that are. But the Mariners are coming out and they're showing that they can totally win baseball games and they can make a postseason push. And right now, they're looking like they're going to overtake just about everybody in this wild card race just because they're playing so hot. But the second half, we don't know what it holds, and crazier things have happened. Guys play in the home run derby, and then they can't swing for 2 months or something like that. So we have no idea what's going to happen here. But the Jays need to take advantage of whatever shortcomings other teams may develop in the second half, and they have to run with it if they want a chance here. Last year they played great baseball and they still came up short. So they know more than anybody in the majors what it can be like. They have to play pedal to the metal to the max for the last, I don't know how many games are left, but however many there are.
I believe it's 69. I'm not looking at it right now, but I believe it's 69. And the Blue Jays, were really good after the All-Star break last year. Now, there was the factor of they weren't playing at home and they moved home, and that probably gave them some momentum. But yeah, like you said, I mean, some teams have not played well, especially over in the AL West. Um, but the White Sox are coming a little bit. They've put together a little bit of momentum. The Guardians are hanging around. I don't know how long it lasts, but the O's are still 500 as we head to this post All-Star break. So, yeah, they definitely have some teams on their tail that they need to fend off. And who knows what the Red Sox could do at the deadline? They are historic buyers. They're traditionally ready to pay a lot. The Sale injury hurts them, and we'll see, if that impacts their spending and what they want to do. But for now, there are a lot of potentially scary teams coming up that could definitely, make the Blue Jays think about maybe giving a guy a new job on their team, because if you're looking for new jobs, well, maybe you should go to LinkedIn Jobs, because on the Blue Jays side, LinkedIn Jobs is a place where you can post a job for free in minutes and reach a network, the world's largest professional network of over 810 million people. Then all you got to do, add your job and the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring so your network can help you find the right people to hire. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who'd you like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. Look, LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonmlb. That's linkedin.com/lockedonmlb to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Woo! LinkedIn Jobs. But Ben, I'm more interested in which NFL stars will move the betting lines the most. Starting July 18th, Locked On gives you the 50 most valuable players in the NFL from the odds makers at BetOnline. You might be thinking Devontae Adams. I'm thinking Christian Walker. Available July 18th on Locked On NFL, wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube.
Did you mean to say Christian Watson? I don't mean to
Yep,
cap on
I
you,
did. I
but
meant to say Christian Watson. I'm still learning the kid's name.
hey,
Anyway,
he's new.
he's new. I'm still learning the kid's name. All right, it's time for He Was a Blue Jay. We've switched roles for anybody who might have taken a Locked On Blue Jays hiatus. And anybody who's a day one would know that back in the audio only version of this podcast, Ben would always do a little jingle to start the
I would.
segment. So
I
maybe
would.
I'll try to revamp that in my season. But the rules now are I am the card czar here. I am the question master, and Ben is the victim that is in the seat. So we will find out if Ben has the same knowledge as I. I believe I finished what 26-5 or something. What was it? 27-2. What was it?
I think I have you at 25-8.
I'll take
25
that.
and 8.
25-8 is a human
I'm
record, but it
very
was pretty darn good.
I'm very nervous, I have to say. Like I think because I'm a childhood Blue Jay fan, the expectation for me is higher, and because you did so darn well. Like I feel like our listeners are going to expect to match that, and I immediately want to say that I am not sure I can. You did really well
Thanks, man.
on He Was a Blue Jay.
I will say, if you put the betting odds before we started this podcast and who would do better, I think everybody and their uncle would have picked you. So let's see if you have it in you. All right, here we go. Are you ready?
I am ready to
I have to
go.
do the rules. Rules are
You do.
I pick a random Blue Jay that you didn't realize was a Blue Jay, random baseball player. I give 5 hints. Ben gets 3 guesses per hint, or like 30 seconds. So we throw that out pretty much. He gets to guess, and then if he gets it, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Are you ready, Ben?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Okay. First hint in season 4 is this outfielder debuted as a Blue Jay in 2000.
This outfielder debuted with the Blue Jays in 2000. Jose Cruz is too much of a Blue Jay. This outfielder debuted with the Blue Jays in 2000, so he would have been there. This guy's too old, but Reed Johnson.
Not Reed Johnson. Also, I believe he was an
Um,
infielder, wasn't he?
I thought he utility, but I could be wrong. Outfielder that debuted in 2000. See, like I know it's not like can't be like a stud, or else he probably wouldn't be there. All right, move on.
Okay. We're moving on to hint number 2. He was teammates with future Blue Jays Mark Burley, Edwin Encarnacion, and Emilio Bonifacio throughout his career.
So Mark Burley, Edwin Encarnacion, and Emilio Bonifacio. So he was probably a White Sox, and he was probably a Red. Bonifacio was a bit of a wild card. He also could have been teammates with Burley and Bonifacio when they were with the Marlins. So
I will say that those are on 3 different teams, when he played for 3 different teams.
and these happened like I don't ask for extra. Okay. So he was at one point a White Sox, at one point a Red, and at one point probably like a Royal. I forget the teams that Bonifacio really prominently played for. White Sox, Red, and Royal. Austin Jackson's just in my brain, even though you guessed him last time we did
See,
this.
now you're feeling how I
it's not
felt, where
Austin
you know
Jackson.
it's
Yeah,
not him, but it just is
I
in your
know
brain.
it's
Austin Jackson, there's no shot it's him, but
no,
it's in
it's
your
not even
brain.
close. There's no way he debuted in 2000. But that means if he was teammates with those guys, he probably would have played at least in the later 2000s. You didn't say his Blue Jays debut was his debut, but I'd imagine he was on the younger side.
It was his debut.
Okay. Played for the Reds and White Sox, two teams I watched so much as a kid. Um, what's his name? Like Alejandro De Aza or whatever.
It is not Alejandro De Aza.
White Sox outfielder. I feel like I have a better shot at White Sox outfielder than Reds. White Sox outfielder. I'm gonna need you to move on. I'm a little bit
All right.
stumped early on here.
We're going to hint number 3, which admittedly is not my greatest hint.
Oh no.
He made the playoffs twice in his career. The NLDS in 2004 as a member of a team in the NL East, and the ALDS in 2008 as a member of a team in the AL Central.
Well, that's the White Sox. I think. So he was only twice on playoff teams, but I kind of knew that from the fact he was a Red and a White Sox because those are not good teams. Although mid-2000s White Sox were all right, and they did win a World Series. But okay, so 2008 NLDS. So he was probably on
While
the
you think, I will
2008.
recap the hints.
You're
Outfielder
learning this.
debuted in the majors as a Blue Jay in 2000. He was teammates with future Blue Jays Mark Burley, Edwin Encarnacion, and Emilio Bonifacio throughout his career, and he made the playoffs twice in his career. The NLDS in 2004 as a member of a team in the NL East, and the ALDS in 2008 as a member of a team in the AL Central.
Yeah, so like I don't know who that 2004 team is, but it's like not the Marlins. I know that. It might be the Mets, but yeah, the Mets were pretty good then, but we already did Edgardo Alfonso, so it's not him. And it's not
He's
Carlos
also an outfielder.
Delgado. Yeah, it's not Carlos Delgado, who also again not an outfielder. So yeah, you were right. That is stumping me a little. Let me think.
You move on if you'd like.
Yeah, let's just move on. I'm very worried about this already.
Okay. He played in the NL East, the AL East, not on the Blue Jays. He played in the AL East aside from the Blue Jays, I mean. He played in the NL Central, but you'll know him best from his time in the AL Central, like far and away. You know him as the AL Central.
This isn't him, because Melky Cabrera didn't debut in 2000, but he does fit an odd number of your hints.
Does fit an odd number of those categories.
He fits
He
an
does.
odd
He
number
fits in
of
a
your
lot of
hints.
those. It ain't him though.
Like also played in the AL East. Like he was a White Sox, so I could have seen him being a teammate of Mark Burley's. I don't know if he was a Red or not, but okay, so I know him far and away from his AL Central career, which makes me believe that this is a good White Sox who I'm missing. A good White Sox outfielder.
I
This
wouldn't
is
call him
upsetting
good.
me.
I'll tell you that
Okay,
much.
well, like at least like a known. Okay, a known. If he's a backup, then I'm really feeling bad.
I really think hint 5 should help you. I think you'll get it on
Then
hint 5.
let's roll to hint 5.
Okay. Hint 5 is he made one of the greatest catches of all time, and it was to keep a perfect game alive.
Oh, who made the catch in the Burley game? No. Who made the catch in the Burley game? Oh, I can see the catch, and I'm. Oh no. Oh no.
I'm kind
Oh
of shocked
no,
you
Bones.
can't remember it because Hawk Harrelson screaming his name in my head is just ingrained.
I'm literally watching the play in my head. I'm watching the play. And that's like, I loved Mark Burley when I was a kid, well before he was a Blue Jay. And this game was the full reason why I watched the whole game. And I hate myself. I'm not going to get this. I'm still thinking, but like, it's one of those things where I'm either going to know it right away or I'm not going to know it at all.
I'm currently in shambles for
In
audio
so much
listeners.
shambles. And this is, for pulling back the curtain, Bones was allegedly going to give me a hard one. and this was the easy one that he gave me instead,
Sure.
which is
It's easier
not
one. It's not
looking
an easy one.
not looking good. I will say all the previous 4 hints, not that easy, but this hint, um,
Still
absolutely I
learning.
should get it, and I'm ashamed of myself that I'm likely gonna tap out pretty soon. Who made the catch? The Burley game. Bum, 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 bum,
If it
bum,
helps at
bum,
all, my
bum.
bonus will be that I oftentimes get Alejandro De Aza and this guy mixed up because they're similar players.
De Aza was on that team, right?
I'll find out for you.
2008
Piazza was
Burley.
not on that team. He was 1 year away from being on that team.
Tough. Was he a Blue
Both
Jay?
6-foot left-handed outfielders who were known for their contact and speed.
Yeah, so was everyone back then. No, I'm kidding. I'm so ashamed of myself.
I have to push you for an answer here. Just throw out some
I'm
names,
tough.
man.
I don't even have names because like all the other names that come to mind, I know didn't make that catch. You know,
Oh.
so it's like, who is it? I'm tapping out.
Wow, he taps out on the first ever one. Dwayne Wise is the
Dwayne
answer.
Wise. No, I
Dwayne
knew Dwayne
Wise.
Wise was a Blue Jay too. I
Brutal.
knew it. I
Dwayne
knew
Wise
it.
started with the Blue Jays, played 28 games in 2000, in which he was abysmal. Then he took a break, came back in 2002, and was abysmal again with the Blue Jays. Then he didn't play in 2003, went to Atlanta, and went to that AL NLDS. Not ALDS, NLDS. And it was kind of fun, 16 OPS. Then he took another break in 2005 and came back for Cincinnati for a couple years, played with Encarnacion. Then he played with Burley in 2008-9 in Chicago. Then he came back to Toronto in 2010 for
That's
52.
that's why I'm upset because I remember him as a Blue Jay. Like if
Yeah.
I would have, if you told me he was a 2010-11 Blue Jay, there's a shot I get it. Because I very well remember him playing in our outfield.
Well, brutal for Ben Shulman. He misses his first ever. He was a Blue Jay. If you want to bet on Ben next time, which I don't suggest you do, maybe check out some lines at betonline.net. They don't have he was a Blue Jay, but they are your number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including Major League Baseball. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering information, including live betting, esports, and more. And betonline.net remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. Betonline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite sports and events, including MMA, boxing, and golf. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
All right. After being sad by a White Sox guy, let's go talk about the Red Sox, shall we? Second half of the season, I keep saying that. Post All-Star break part of the season is beginning now with the Boston Red Sox. It's a series in Fenway Park. And Bones, I'll let you go first. Who's looking? What do you want to do? Scary hype train. Leave it up to you.
Up to you, man. You do it.
All right, Who's looking scary?
All right, scary men on campus. You're going to be looking towards a guy named Rafael Devers. This guy has just been hitting the cover off the ball in July. He's been punishing the Yankees for a couple of series now. In July, he's hitting 300, nearly. He's hitting 298 with a 986 OPS. He got 5 homers in the month and 14 hits. The funny part about Devers, if you just take his last, I don't know, what is it, 8 games or so, you just take his last 8 games. He's got 8 hits. 5 of them are home runs. He's got 9 RBIs. So that means his BABIP, which is batting average on balls in play, hits minus home runs. His BABIP is lower than his average because most of his hits are home runs. BABIP is 188, while his average in that time is 286. The guy is just raking, and no pitcher wants to see him right now. He's putting together quite the MVP case, third base.
Yeah, he's second in the AL in WAR, and it's 0.1 behind Aaron Judge. Like it's absolutely a race right now where it didn't look like it would be because of Devers. Side note, because I went to look at the WAR leaderboard, top 3 WAR position players in baseball, all St. Louis Cardinals. That's outrageous.
Wow,
Um,
that's crazy.
yeah, it's insane. But yeah, Rafi Devers, very scary. If you don't know by now, then you're just not watching the games because he is ridiculous. Sometimes I like to do the sneaky guy. I know Xander Bogaerts is great, and he's good. But my scary is going to be former Blue Jay. I don't think that he was a Blue Jay because I thought you would get it too obviously. But former Blue Jay, Rob Refsnyder. He missed a lot of this year, but he's come back, and in the month of July, he was absolutely nails. Led the Red Sox in batting average, hitting 333. OPS of 857, gets on base at almost a 400 clip. Like, definitely not the guy that's gonna, hit a million homers even at Fenway, but just gonna ruin your day and get on base for the Devers, for the Bogarts, for the JD Martinez's, who are gonna hit you. And although he didn't have an awesome series when Boston came to Toronto last, he did hit a home run in that series against the Blue Jays the first time he played them. So, Rob Refsnyder, my scary. Who are you hyping? Whose train are you aboard for this set?
I am aboard the Teoscar Hernandez hype train for this set. This guy hits the Red Sox very hard over his career. Uh, Against the Red Sox in his career, he has a 948 OPS, 18 home runs against Boston, and nearly a 300 average. That's in 62 games. So he's putting together like stats that would be decent for an entire season, just over 62 games against the team. And at Fenway, he's hit more home runs than he has at any other ballpark aside from Rogers Center. So 13 home runs at Fenway and a 963 OPS in Boston. He is a fantastic hitter when it comes to the oldest pack in America. So I'm going to go with Teoscar here. He's also having a great couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, I like that. I'm kind of going along the same lines. I want a power hitting right-handed hitter, and for that reason, I'm going to my boy Chappie. If you were listening to our Monday episode, you heard me quote last 2 weeks. Chapman hitting over 300 with 900 OPS. He's really starting to turn it on. I also saw a quote from him as I was pulling up his baseball ref that he thinks his first half he was playing like horse bleep. Um, which I kind of like. I like when a guy's a little angry at himself because I don't think Matt Chapman's like angry at himself. I'm gonna fold and like get yips or something like that. I think he's like I'm angry at myself, so I'm gonna start pounding baseballs and lasering throws to first base. Like he kind of gives off that vibe, and he was starting to do it. Especially this recent hot stretch for him kind of started with the Red Sox series. He had a hit in all 3 games that he played in versus the Red Sox when they came into Toronto recently. So I like Chapman to use that monster in 3 games at Fenway. He's got a homer, he's got a double, and he's got an 846 OPS. Generally, he's hit the Red Sox pretty well this year. So I think there's a shot for Chapman to take this momentum, take a rest, come back out in the second half, and really start to go. And the Red Sox, for a power hitting right handed hitter, like there's almost no better park to go to try and stay hot than Fenway Park because you can just hit fly balls and half of them are homers.
Totally. And I think that's another reason that Teoscar is probably going to be pretty darn good as well. So we've got Chapman and Teoscar to be good in this series, Rob Refsnyder and Devers to be the guys to look out for.
And apologies for another Friday without a prospect roundup, but next Friday we will have it back. Shout out, by the way, because Futures game did pass this week. Shout out to Ricky Tiedemann and Yasver Zualeta, both pitching perfect innings. That's always nice to see. And my boy Robert Hassel of the Tin Caps got a hit and an RBI. Watch out for him. But that's going to do it today for our episode of Locked On Blue Jays. If you want to hear about prospects, though, you're like, I came here for Prospect Roundup. What the heck, Ben and Bones? Make your second listen Locked On MLB Prospects. Host Lindsey Crosby is a prospect encyclopedia, and he's going deep on the MLB stars of tomorrow. It's free and available wherever you get your podcast. He's Matt Bonaparte. I'm Ben Shulman. We will be back on Monday recapping this series. But until then, appreciate you listening and have a good weekend.